welcome you to the Toyota-Napa Auto Parts Bonus Challenge 150 here in Roseburg tonight. I'm Mike Hawkwood along with Phil Parsons. Phil, this is going to be a fun race.
Boy, it sure is. As you mentioned, Mike, we've had so much bad weather here in the 2 or 3 weeks leading up here, but you can see right now, wind calm, 65 perfect degrees.
Bernadette Santacola's on pit road tonight. Let's check with her right now.
The K&N Pro Series heated up competition in Iowa, putting the points for the East and West closer than ever before. And it was a driver of this car, the number 17 of David Mayhew, that took the spotlight for the West. The big question is tonight, though, can he do it again in Roseburg, on a track normally dominated by a Bill McAnally team driver? The fourth race of the K&N Pro Series West is definitely up for grabs.
Yeah, you got to believe he's got his work cut out for him here tonight.
Yeah, Eric Holmes has seemed to own this racetrack over the last couple of years, and he will start on the outside of the front row.
So, Phil, track position, as you know, is critical here. With more on that, back down now to Bernadette.
You could have predicted that these two drivers were going to be in front of the field tonight, the number 20 of Eric Holmes and the number 17 of David Mayhew. But David Mayhew is our pole sitter tonight. Now, David, you talked to me earlier about how important it was to have this position. Why?
It's just a real tough place to pass. We're really looking forward to getting out there and getting the race going. The weather's not looking so good, but I think we've got a real good car. We showed that in qualifying. Hopefully we can keep it there.
All right, now you know this track's normally dominated by the Bill McAnally team drivers. Does that give you a little more fuel to stay ahead, or is that even in your head at all?
Yeah, I mean, they had press releases all week about it, so it's hard to forget. But to put one on them here in qualifying, we're really happy with that. And I think we've got a good enough car to bring a Chevy to the Toyota victory lane today.
All right, well, good luck to you. David Mayhew of the number 17 car is our pole sitter. Let's see if he could break the Bill McAnally tradition of winning here.
That's not going to be easy, Bernadette. You know, Phil, any driver you talk to about this racetrack uses one word to describe it: tight.
Yeah, tight and tough to pass. 3/8 of a mile semi-bank, which means it's relatively flat. You can see we'll have 19 cars starting this race, 150 laps. There will be no pit stops, 56 miles the distance.
So you really have to take care of your tires a little bit. You need to have that right front at the end. Here are the point standings. Mayhew is on the pole, 57 ahead of Eric Holmes. Greg Pursley and Jonathan Gomez still in the hunt. While the cars are out and rolling, we'll take a look at our starting grid. Holmes and Mayhew on the front row. 19 cars will make up the field here. And that's a lot of cars on a tight racetrack like this.
It really is. And David Mayhew, by getting the pole, he's going to have that preferred line on the inside. Sometimes we see guys pick the outside line, but we're not going to see that here. The guys are going to pick the inside line for the pole sitter for David Mayhew.
Jack Sellers, you see, the veteran, the oldest driver in the field. And on row 10, there's Rod Nealon. The cars are bunched up. I think we're ready to go. Green flag racing here at Roseburg. Green is out and we're underway. Look at Holmes on the outside there.
He would love to. He told me before the race that he would rather start third than second. You see how him trying to push his way over into the inside, not quite able to make it that time.
Well, it's not easy to get in the inside. Jonathan Gomez in that 22 doesn't want to let him down there on the inside. And obviously that is the place to run. Look at Holmes battling, trying to get down low.
He's going to do all he can do to try to get to the inside. He may be fortunate to get in third. Let's see if he can get to the inside in front of Blake Cook. He does make it. He just cuts across the nose of Blake Cook.
I see what you were talking about. Did you rather start down low? Because even starting outside on the front row, you see what happened. It is just tough to get down there. And
that will play out throughout this race. The guy that works hard to gets up into the second position, then he's going to have to restart on the outside on all the restarts, and that's a very, very difficult place to be. You can see Eric Holmes was not able to get in behind David Mayhew. He had to settle into third.
How tough is this place to pass on? Well, Eric Holmes last year in this race, Phil, led from green to checkers. Nobody was able to get around him. We'll see if that's the story with David Mayhew here.
Eric Holmes has been here 4 times. He's won 2 races. His average finish here, 2.0.
You know, that makes his car owner, Bill McAnally, happy, who happens to be actually putting this race on here at Roseburg.
Yeah, I was talking to Bill, and he talked about how much rain we had in the couple weeks leading up to this, and a great crowd turned out for this. He had a great walk-up crowd today, so good for Bill.
Every time we seem to come to Roseburg, there's a great crowd here, passionate fans about racing, and it is fun to see. There's Jonathan Hale, the youngster in the 5 car. Jack Sellers owns that car. Todd Souza battling him.
Todd Souza had a couple top 10 finishes this year in our first 2 races, then went to Iowa and did not qualify for that event.
Really disappointed, so you know he wants to run well here tonight at Roseburg. 14 car Travis Milburn out of Idaho is right behind Hale.
There's the team cars right behind. Josh Combs in the 9 and Luis Martinez Jr. in the 6, right behind the 14 of Milburn.
Luis Martinez out of that 6 car out of Long Beach.
Well, both of those cars already showing some damage. Looked like they drove underneath somebody. Both of them have damage on the front nose and the hood of those cars.
And a multi-champion in this sport, Bill Sedgwick, the crew chief on that 6 car.
Lewis had a top 5 in our first race at Roseville, California this year.
Sedgwick has had several championship drivers. Mike Duncan had several championships with Sedgwick as a crew chief.
Jason Bowles last year.
Exactly.
Driving that number 6 car that we just looked at.
So quite an advantage for Luis Martinez. Sedgwick calling the shots, and you see David Mayhew comfortably out in front here at Roseburg.
Good battle right there. There's Blake Cook, the 21 car, Michael Self in the 88. There's Moses Smith in the 16 car with Paul Hiraka in the 12.
Phil, we're still early in this race. How aggressive can you be trying to take track position knowing that you can't change tires?
Well, you have to save your stuff. And I was talking to Paul Hiraka in the garage area, and he said this is a racetrack. Because it's so flat, it's really tough to get that forward bite. So if you spin those tires very much coming off the corner, then you're not going to have anything to use when you get late in the run. So right now, these guys would love to try to get in front of these people, but without pushing the issue.
See Blake Cook in the 21, some ties to Richard Childress Racing in that car. Blake Cook's dad, by the way, is a movie producer out in California. But Blake from West Palm Beach, Florida.
Blake had a 13th place finish at Iowa in the combination race, that 13th overall. So a pretty good run there for him.
And we've been pretty clean here at the start of this race, as every driver on this track knows that track position is so vital. Any mistake can really cost you a chance to win.
You get these green flag runs here, and when you run laps at 15, 16 seconds, you can put a lot of laps in the book really quick.
And that's what's happening right here. And you see this crowd came out here despite the bad weather that we've had for most of this week. There's a spin on the front stretch. Travis Milburn's car has come to a stop. And Phil, has brought out our first caution.
We saw David Mayhew motioning out the window to Jonathan Gomez that he was slowing down. The caution flag is out. I'm not sure if Travis Milburn made any contact or not. Maybe we can take a look at it and see. Yeah, let's take a look and see what maybe caused Travis Milburn to get around. There they are. Oh, going to be a little contact right there. Looks like the 9 car of Josh Combs gets into Travis Milburn coming off turn number 4.
Yeah, Travis had a little help going around right there, but nonetheless the caution is out, and Milburn not able to get that car refired.
Yeah, the bad news is he's not able to refire the car, and even under caution, these guys make some laps pretty quick around here.
David Mayhew, Jonathan Gomez, Eric Holmes, our top 3.